What's up, y'all? My name is Ken, or Maioka depending on how you know me, and today I'm gonna break down how I made this video.
Yeah, our careers on shelves like Amazon distribution center. Hell, really hate to call on broski for the dirty work. I'd rather do it by myself.
So yeah, this video, I got a comment on Instagram. So Only Davies on Instagram said you won't drop a YouTube vid explaining the whole thing from start to finish. So I was like, say less. There's a lot that goes into these videos, so I feel like there's a lot that can be, that somebody could learn from just watching this. So thought might as well. And if you follow me on Instagram, first of all, go follow me on Instagram at maioka.co, maioka.co. If you see anything on there that you want to further breakdown on, just, here or on Instagram, just comment and let me know. Trying to give as much game as I can to you guys. But yeah, let's just get into the edit. I filmed this using my Sony a7S III. I use this 8mm Rokinon lens. It's a super wide fisheye lens, so it captures all the buildings, and it actually makes the buildings kind of warp a little bit, which I like the creative look of that. Use my RS3 mini gimbal, and I think that's everything that we used. But yeah, kind of just going from the start. A lot of what I shoot is kind of just messing around. Also, basically everything where you see this, I just masked out Quay. For whatever reason, davinci, when I reopen this file, it's not like this shit off. It should be see-through. Like if I delete these two layers, it just shows whatever clip is underneath. So I guess while we watch this, anytime you see this, just know that I masked it. Couple things that were on my shot list. I wanted to do a lot of around the shoulder transition. So I have a tutorial on this on my Instagram too, but just anytime, just kind of rubbing the shoulders and then using that as a cutting point to transition into the next scene. So last scene in this video is gonna, as you can see there, it just cuts into his shoulder. So I use that as my intro, just so I can have the video be looping, and so I can cut in. He's just a opening shot, establish where we're at. Nothing special here. I've got all that. So what I did here, I have 4 individual clips, and I've also got adjustment layers that are increasing the brightness as they go. So it's 2 frames, and now it's I kind of like the effect that it gives off. It's just something to catch the eye while somebody's watching the video for the first few seconds. So the adjustment layer, it's basically just you can see it's keyframed, and when we go here, the gain and gamma is a lot higher. So yeah, that's all that is, just adjustment layer. So I have 4 different clips, each around 3 frames. Kind of just random shots. I like to complement these kinds of shots with sound effects. So I have before and after. So yeah, kind of tells the story a little more. And while this shot is going on, I like to mask and introduce the next scene. So kind of it's a nice transition into the next scene. So I just had this, I masked out this video of Quay just standing here, as we see, right? So I masked it out, had him introduce a little bit before it actually cuts into the scene, and I also made him glow. So the front layer is him just glowing, and you can just do that in the color tab. Just added the glowing image. And then the second tab, it's kind of like the, it's kind of like just the second layer of him glowing or whatnot. So I think this one also glow. Looks like just glow, and I keyframe this so it's stronger as we go along, and kind of I just played around with this and I liked the way it was like spreading out. So, and then once again, the shoulder to shoulder transition.
Yeah.
The next scene, speed ramp on both sides of these shoulder transitions to kind of make it smoother. So we've got this scene, and so I what I did, I keyframed the hands. So I keyframed the hands. I have like a couple different layers of his hands, so that it looks, you know, there's a delay in it too. So yeah, I mashed it out, and then I was also, while I was shooting this, I had my gimbal on the 360 roll, so that kind of led into my next transition. Also, anytime I go into my first beat drop, I like to introduce a riser and then a boom. So this is before without it, and then with the riser and boom. Yep. Like I said, I got this spin scene, right? So for all three of these scenes, I had my gimbal kind of just on the ground and camera facing up, and then my instructions to him was just interact with the camera, you know, kind of do whatever, play with their hat. And then so basically for this cut, I'm just speed ramping. You see, so I had a speed ramp in my compound clip, but you can see for these transitions as well, it's all speed ramp in the first bit. And typically like 3 to 4 frames is what I found to be a good sweet spot for keyframing or for speed ramps. So all three of these shots, I had my gimbal on 360 roll, and then to kind of sell the effect, I added a radio blur. So, you know, I start at 0, and then as soon as I have it ramping up to the end of the clip where I've got the radio blur, so it kind of just sells the transition and makes it a little more smooth. I think to transition out of this clip, I had my transform node start here, and then I just stretched out the aspect ratio, as you can see. And then to cut into it, start off with the wide and then keyframe it to normal. This scene I caught on my camcorder, so I was just waiting for my instructions to Clay, where it was just to, hey, just do something and, you know, play with their hat, whatever. And then just wait for the car to come in, and I'll use that as a transition. So yeah. So this scene, to transition into it, as you can see, I just kind of mashed out where the car would be going. It's only 1 frame. It's really quick, so you can't really see it. But I used the polygon node and kind of just tracked the end of the ambulance. Yeah, so basically just introduce this scene, and then I'm already transitioning into my next scene, which is Quay just jumping around. He does this a lot, which I'm a big fan of, because it just adds a lot of character to the shoot. And ultimately, when you work with models or anybody else, it's your art and your vision combined with how they see themselves and how they want to portray themselves in their art. So yeah, you can kind of get a good sense of who he is just by this kind of stuff. But yeah, I mashed out him jumping, and then to introduce it, I started off with him being small, and then when I cut, he's in the regular size. And I also added glow with this. So yeah, that's the next transition. Instantly. And then this next sequence was basically a bunch of Dolly ramps. So to cut into it, my transition was to just, you know, same thing as I did earlier, adjustment layer and increase brightness. And then we can go to these scenes. So I had a bunch of clips where I was just walking backwards or forwards or something. But, you know, basically all you do for this, you put the grid on, and you kind of just make sure that the head or whatever point you're tracking is a similar size. So the actual clip looks like this. I'm just walking in and out, and then you turn it into this by keyframing the zoom or the shape. So yeah, there's that. So I did that for these three, and then you speed ramp. You know, I speed ramp the end, so I've got 1, 2. This is pretty quick. It's like 2 frames, 3 frames ish. Yep. So there's that sequence, and these all kind of flow together because they're all doing the same thing and speed ramping out. And then to get out of that, I did another adjustment layer, increasing the brightness, and then the next sequence is kind of just some of my favorite shots that I've been doing recently with my shoots, just kind of whipping in and out like so. And this is also like sped up a lot because I'm just walking backwards or forwards and just trying to, with my camera, trying to keep him in the center the whole time. And I have a breakdown on Instagram of this technique too, but yeah, I basically just tracked his face and then just kept it central the whole time using the transform node. So it just kind of makes it smooth and creates this effect. And I had those two just kind of go together because it's all the same motion. I cut it in the middle with adjustment layer, kind of give that little flash and make it a little more smooth. And then while this clip is still going on, I brought the shoe in a few frames early just to start to introduce the next scene. And so you can see all these clips, it's like 3 frames each, you know. And while that's going on, I introduced, you know, I already know that I'm gonna cut on this, but I also like, there's 2 versions of this jump that he did. So I mashed this out and layered it over. Just to match it with the song, I added these glitches. So they're all 2 seconds each. It's all the same clip of his jump. And then got out of that with a flash transition. This is just a regular bright flash. Drag and drop. And then another shoulder to shoulder to get out of it. So that's the video and the breakdown. Once the color grading is done, then I'll go through the sound design. And how I typically do, I've got the sound, got the music, and then these right here, these are areas where I used a low pass filter or high pass filter. Basically this, you just got the high ends. Like that, and then
Shells like Amazon distribution center, hell, really hate to call on broski for the.
Yep. It kind of adds a little more emphasis to the scene. Like when it comes back in, it hits a little harder. So yeah, and then I will figure out what the key moments are and then add a riser to that. So
Yeah.
obviously right here.
I put careers on shelves like Amazon distribution center, hell.
And then coming out of the high pass filter
Hell, really hate to call on broski.
into that scene right here.
Hell, really hate to call on broski.
That's where I added another riser. So yeah, I'll figure out where to add the risers, and then also whoosh transitions to just emphasize movement.
Yeah.
A lot of times it'll be supplemented with the transitions. And then after that, it's really just contextual sounds. It's like right here. I've got the
Distribution center, hell, really hate to call.
I've got an effect of a car passing by. I think also for the intro I had some city sounds, so New York City. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Outside of that, it's just camera shutter sounds. And then also right
I had to do
here,
it by myself.
where it's ticking, I kind of added just random clicks. So I just, you know, click, click,
I
click
had to do it by myself.
to emphasize that. And then
Crack, crack.
right here for this glitch, I added the sound of a bike chain. So yeah, that's the breakdown of this whole video. I can go deeper into the color grading in another video, maybe not of this specific one, but color grading breakdown is definitely long overdue, so that's coming. But yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, definitely let me know in the comments, like this video, and yeah, be sure to follow me on Instagram at maioka.co, maioka.co. Follow Mark Quaid. I'll leave his Instagram somewhere up here, but yeah, let me know if I can help with anything else, and till next time.